moving on to L.A., Justin Herbert is getting more playmakers, and new Charger David Njoku has wasted no time speaking up and putting defenses on notice.
We can be destructive, you know what I mean? We have the tools, we have the keys, we have the players to do it all, so it's up to us to put it all together.
Bug, you got to love the hire of Mike McDaniel as the OC. What stands out to you the most about the upside of this offense?
Well, I think it's just that, Hannah. It's Mike McDaniel. Let's understand who he is. We all give him credit when he went down to Miami. Let's know what he was before he got to Miami. He was the run game coordinator out in San Francisco, so they're going to run the football. I get what David Njoku's talking about, but I think the happiest guy has to be Omarion Hampton, because the way Mike McDaniel can create lanes in the running game, they're going to be a physical football team. I think they're going to use Justin Herbert's legs just a little bit. And if they can get Quentin Johnston to hold on to the football a little while longer and Ladd McConkey, this offense could be really explosive. Mike McDaniel, I think, is going to go back to his roots, which is creativity in the run game and explosive plays in the pass game.
How about protecting that quarterback, though, Bug? He was sacked 54 times last season, the most in his career. All right, come.
Yeah. You know, it is actually pretty interesting because when we really look at a lot of these elite coaches, they're all brilliant at the run game. All of them. And it's actually kind of what separates Andy from a lot of these other guys, because he used the pass game as an extension of the run game more so, but like McDaniel, Ben Johnson, Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, it's like they are all able to have such a successful run game. Ben Johnson and I was like, oh, Ben Johnson got the Chicago Bears and like he's going to fix Caleb. But, the run game was massive. Massive, man. Even with Detroit, Gibbs, Montgomery, etc. Like massive. Matt LaFleur, or excuse me, Sean McVay and the Rams. I've talked about this, all throughout last season. It's like they had the most successful run game. They had one of the most dominant run games. Their success rate in terms of the percentage of yards that they get on first, second, third, and fourth down, best in the NFL, with two completely different running backs. That's O-line and Sean McVay. That's what that is. So, the idea that you can now bring that to the Chargers, rather than we're just going to play tough. We're going to win in the trenches. 'Cause that is what some other guys like to do, which is like, no, we have a good O-line and we're just going to be, we're just going to win up front. Right? And it's less innovation. It's less creativity. It's less strategic play calling. It's less, and I talked about this actually in the comments section before. Like, you can set up the run with the passing game. Everyone says like, oh, you run to set up the pass. The passing game. Like, no, you can also pass to set up the run. It works both ways. It works both ways. So, I got in a whole debate about that in the comments section. I forget what the video was or what the context was. But, that obviously matters, too. But, before I go any deeper, San Diego Los Angeles Chargers fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you guys do that, views go through the roof. Subscribers go through the roof. And it's not about chasing views. It's not about chasing subscribers. It's about being able to create San Diego Los Angeles Chargers content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss. So, we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, genuine conversations about the Chargers out there. So, we can cut through all the other nonsense. So, please do consider doing that, as it really does make a huge difference. Yeah, it's funny because I made a Chargers video like literally the other day talking about, cause people were complaining about Lamar Jackson not being in OTAs and why were we a conversation about Justin Herbert. And I think I did a good job of kind of breaking down all the different variations of that conversation and why one matters more and one matters not. And, obviously I'm always making a ton of Chargers content and always happy to do it. But you reach a point where you're like for someone like me, I believe in the Chargers as much as you ever could. There's a handful of teams that I believe in more now than I ever have. And that's why I always hate sometimes if I air out a take and people like, well, they say this every year. And I'm always like, I don't care what they say every year. I wasn't involved in every year. I wasn't saying this in 23 or 24 or 25. Like, I didn't say this every year, right? And there's like a couple teams, 2 or 3 teams that I'm like, I could not be any higher. I could not be any more confident, optimistic, whatever words you want to use. And like that is where I stand with the Chargers. And so it's just like, how many other different ways can you share that, right? Can you express that? How many different ways can you say that without keep repeating yourself? And that's why I'm so excited that they brought up the run game, cause that is not something that I talked enough about. And it's just like that alone. First off, you talk about protecting Justin Herbert while not needing him to drop back a million times, right? And then being able to control the clock and time of possession to be able to actually get the lead and not constantly needing to make big play from behind. It's that alone, outside of just the traditional sense of the O-line obviously protecting the quarterback. Like, that alone will help out, Justin Herbert. When you think about a lot of these quarterbacks that get banged up or have this issue, the issue is like it's like they lose a lot of times, it goes hand with them unable to run. And it's like, oh, so this quarterback is getting beat up because he's also passing a lot, he's got to make a lot of plays, he's got to hold on to the ball because he's got to make a play, right? Like, a lot of it goes hand in hand, and it's not just strictly where the O-line is bad and so he gets a lot of pressure to him. It's like, that's obviously some of it, but it's also other aspects as well. Here's the other aspect that I think people are also missing. And what I assume Mike McDaniel is going to want to lean into, and especially now with an improved O-line. Justin Herbert is so elite with play action. So elite more than I think people really understand. So he was technically ranked 6th in play action according to PFF, but he was 1,099 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating of 113. Okay. Really, really high-level stuff. But when you look at this, he had 163 dropbacks. Dak Prescott 185, Lamar 99. Lamar is going to be the outlier because he obviously was, banged up and out of the lineup, so I'll probably just skip over our Lamar for right now because he has such a lower sample size. Drake May 150, Sam Darnold 145, Matthew Stafford 231. 231, okay. For the times that Justin Herbert was pressured just with play action, when the pressure actually got to him, 79 times. 79 times. These other quarterbacks that had more dropbacks had less pressure. So we look Matthew Stafford. Okay. Matthew Stafford compared to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, 79 pressures. Matthew Stafford 72. So Justin Herbert was pressured 7 more times. But again, Matthew Stafford had 231 dropbacks. Justin Herbert had 163. That is such a massive swing. That is such, what is that? 70 dropbacks and a difference of like 7 pressures. Like that's insane. And we saw that when Matthew Stafford with all that protection, what was he able to do? 1,800 yards, 68% completion percentage, 22 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And was the best with play action. Put the best on play action. I don't know why I can't phrase that right now. And so yeah. Pretty silly. Pretty special when you're able to go under play action when I got why I don't know why I can't, I'm getting tongue-tied. When you're doing this and you have Justin and you have essentially a similar rate of production, relatively speaking, but under significantly worse circumstances. That's what I'm trying to highlight. Matthew Stafford, Tua Devontae also like an elite run game to also now to to put pressure on defenses even in when you're obviously still dropping back and looking to pass. As well as an O-line that is clearly holding up. So much better. And this is what's funny, and this is why we needed a new stat beyond time to throw. Because Matthew Stafford, 3.09 time to throw play action. You're like, oh, it's because he's getting rid of the ball. That's why. The pressures. And it's because of the scrambles. And that doesn't even factor in the times that you're scrambling to buy time to throw, right? And so, you can see that like Matthew Stafford only had to scramble 6 times. Sam Darnold only had to scramble 4 times. Drake May 15, Lamar Jackson 10, Dak 11, and Justin Herbert 15. And again, when you compare that to the rate of dropbacks, it's again, it just continues to paint the picture of how much more stressed Herbert really was under these circumstances. I mean, he was sacked 16 times. He was sacked 16 times. Whereas, Matthew Stafford was sacked only 6 times, and yet had 70 more dropbacks. Pretty ridiculous. I mean, just even look at a number like throwaways. Justin Herbert had 9 throwaways. Matthew Stafford had 11. Only 2 more throwaways out of 70 more dropbacks. I hate doing math real fast in my head cause I'm about to make the dumbest math mistake ever, and people going to be like, bro, you don't even know what 9 plus 2 is. And I'm like, wait, did I do that right? I mean, it's if it's really you really crunch the numbers, and then maybe one day I'll try to work some of these in percentages to make it even clearer and cleaner. And this is just play action now. This is just play action. So, with an actual O-line and Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert play action alone, I'm telling you right now. You might not get exactly Matthew Stafford numbers because again, Puka Nacua, Devontae, etc. but be on the lookout for this to absolutely erupt. Not to mention, I will definitely going to make a separate video crunching all these numbers because it is pretty remarkable. When Justin Herbert was actually kept clean, right? Because it was obviously such a mismatch. When he was actually kept clean, 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 7.5 yards per attempt. Again, when you compare that to Matthew Stafford, okay? So, Justin Herbert's 57.3% of his dropbacks were kept clean. Joe Burrow 70%, Drake May 62%, Jordan Love 61.1%, Matthew Stafford 67.9%. I mean, I did the math that cause you can see if we just even look at passing yards when kept clean Justin Herbert's technically 14th. And it's this is now ranked or you could see the percentage of dropbacks 57.3% for Justin Herbert. Mahomes 65.5%, Jordan Love 61, Josh Allen 62. Everyone else is in the 60s and then you even have Aaron Rodgers probably cause he's getting rid of the ball so but Justin Herbert's 57.3. And if you give him the same percentage as Matthew Stafford in terms of, the same number of attempts, Justin Herbert becomes top in every single category. Top in touchdowns, top in passing yards, etc. So, when you combine that all together, you're looking at every metric improving. The run game improving, play action improving, protect plays just when you're kept clean improving. Every metric will be able to feed off of each other. And cause that's the thing too, right? It's football is very much the whole greater than the sum of your parts. Right? If you improve the run game, you're going to improve the passing game. You improve the passing game, you're going to improve the run game. And it's but it's not 1 + 1 is equal to 2 in that situation. The synergy that happens in football we obviously know. And so it's even though all of these metrics are going to improve, it's going to be so much more significant than you can even really figure out just the basic math here. Because of the constant feedback loop that football provides with all this type of stuff. Like just the snake eating its own tail. So that's what makes this prospect so exciting. The real question to me, the only question that I have is how high volume will it be needed for this offense and this team? Or will they just be able to control games and not have to worry about some of these things? Where so? Then the bottom line numbers might not be as heavy or as grandiose, but oh gosh, why can't I think of the word? The efficiency will be through the roof. Like that's my only question mark because it's hard to predict because I don't know how these games are going to unfold. They'll probably I think the Rams were in a position to really be able to really feast on some of these lower level teams that really made things like extra. Like what they were able to do against the Jags and stuff. Like that really significantly enhanced some of those bottom line numbers in a way that it's not clear to me that the Chargers will necessarily get that opportunity. So, but I still believe that the efficiency will be through the roof, but whether or not it's like the actual bottom line numbers itself. Because if the bottom line numbers can be there, then I think Justin Herbert will skyrocket to the top of the list of MVP candidates. But, I can also see the way in which because that's when then Harbaugh being the head coach takes over where it's just kind of like run by 10. We're just trying to control the clock. We're just trying to come away with the win here, right? We don't need to go up 17, right? Like we're just coming away with the win. I don't know where I'm letting the clock wind down. We're taking our time. We're going to be tough, physical. We're going to win at the line of scrimmage. GE. Blah 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 blah, right? That's all we need to do. But it doesn't mean that it's not there. And the Eagles were perfect example of that in 2024. They did not ask Jalen Hurts to do it. And I don't think the numbers would be as low as it was with Jalen, but it's like they did not need it. But when they did it. And they did it flawlessly. Like I could potentially see that offense look in terms of the numbers, I'm saying. And the numbers, the bottom line numbers compared to the level of efficiency. Like in 2024, Jalen Hurts' efficiency numbers were through the roof, but his bottom line numbers were not. And I could see potentially there be flavors of that less pronounced because as much as they said that they want to run the ball more, I don't know if you quite get the as much of an emphasis in the run game as the Eagles did. But, that also kind of depends on how well the defense is playing as well. 'Cause that would also be a little bit of a wild card and then kind of dictate this a little bit as well, but I don't know. When you really kind of dig into the numbers and you really kind of look into what McDaniel's going to want to do combined with the improved O-line, you're like play action is already great with Justin Herbert. It's going to be even better, right? Justin Herbert is already great kept clean once he's actually clean for more than 50%, 57% of the time. He's going to have a lot more success. He's going to have a lot more so which again, it all starts to feed off each other and he's going to have a better run game and etc. etc. So I always say it's like a double bounce on a trampoline. It's a double bounce on a trampoline that's on the moon. Okay. That's a shirt. It's a trampoline on the moon. That's what the Chargers are about to do. Those are just my thoughts. I absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers, what they're going to be able to do, what this offense is going to look like, what Mike McDaniel can bring to the table? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. This really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.